Hello, everyone, and thanks for being here. My name is Jacob, and today we're diving into a topic that might seem invisible but affects us all daily: bisphenol A or BPA. This isn't just about chemistry or environmental science, it's about everyday choices like what you eat or drink from. Could be quietly impacting your health. We're going to explore what BPA is, how we're exposed to it, what research says about its effects, what laws are doing about it, and why all of this really matters, especially for college students. Let's get into it. So, what exactly is BPA? BPA is short for bisphenol A, a synthetic compound developed in the 1890s. Originally, it was tested for use as a synthetic estrogen because it structurally mimics human hormones. But starting in the 1950s, it found widespread use in industry for making hard, clear plastics and strong epoxy resins that would eventually go and line food cans and the pipes that we use in houses, in buildings, and everything. It has an ability to strengthen the materials. This made it the go-to chemical for manufacturers all over the world. Today, BPA is one of the highest volume industrial chemicals in the world. It's found in plastic containers, canned foods, everywhere. Even thermal receipts it's found in. The receipts that you get from the very grocery store contain amounts of BPA that will affect your health. Its chemical structure allows it to bind to estrogen receptors in the body, which is a problem because it can alter the way our natural hormones work. Even though it was never approved for use as a drug, its hormonal behavior is a huge part of the concern today. And because it's so useful to manufacturers, it's virtually everywhere in modern life. So how are we exposed to BPA? Exposure to BPA is shockingly easy. It leaches out of containers when heated or scratched. So microwaving leftovers in a plastic container or drinking from a hot plastic water bottle means you're very likely ingesting BPA. So as I said earlier, it's also in the linings of canned food and drinks, meaning your soup or even your soda might be bringing more than just flavor. Thermal paper receipts using cash registers contain BPA too. And studies show it can be absorbed through the skin within seconds of handling. This is especially concerning for workers who handle receipts regularly. So the CDC reports around 93% of Americans have detectable levels of BPA in the urine. This just shows how widespread this issue is. You can also be exposed to tooth fillings, hygiene products, and even household dust, making complete avoidance very, very difficult. In short, BPA exposure isn't just common, it's practically inevitable in our modern world. So let's dig into the science. BPA is classified as an endocrine disruptor. It mimics or interferes with natural hormone signals, particularly estrogen, but it also potentially impacts thyroid and androgen hormones. Animal studies have shown BPA is linked to a wide range of health issues, including infertility, breast and prostate cancers, early puberty, obesity, and insulin resistance. What's especially concerning, though, is that BPA's effects are seen in very low doses, sometimes even lower than what most people are exposed to. Human studies support these findings. BPA has been correlated with the increased risk of cardiovascular disease, hormone disruption, thyroid dysfunction, and complications during pregnancy. There's also evidence that suggests that early BPA exposure can contribute to neurodevelopmental problems. This includes ADHD, autism. It also appears that BPA can affect epigenetics, meaning that gene expression is changed across generations. While not every effect is conclusively proven in humans just yet, the weight of this evidence strongly suggests caution, especially during critical life stages like adolescence and pregnancy. So that begs the question, how is BPA regulated today? In the United States, the FDA currently maintains that BPA is safe at current exposure levels, but this position is being reevaluated due to this growing scientific pressure. The EU banned BPA in baby bottles as early as 2011 and has since lowered acceptable exposure limits in general packaging. Their recent moves indicate an increasingly precautionary approach. So Canada labeled BPA as a toxic substance in 2010, which is a landmark decision in public health policy. Other countries have followed suit with bans or restrictions in baby products and food containers. One concern is that BPA doesn't always mean safe. Many companies replace BPA with similar chemicals like BPS and BPF, which early studies suggest might disrupt hormones just as much or even more. Also, industry lobbying has often slowed or weakened regulations, especially in the US, where chemical companies have strong influence over policymaking. Overall, regulation remains inconsistent globally, and some loopholes still allow BPA-laced products to reach consumers. The conversation around BPA is ever evolving. In 2023, the European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, drastically reduced what it considers a safe daily intake of BPA from 4,000 nanograms per kilogram to just 0.2 nanograms. That's a 20,000-fold reduction. This just highlights how serious that people see the risks of BPA. More lawsuits are also being filed against manufacturers for failing to warn consumers about BPA's potential dangers. Recent toxicology studies continue to show that even low-level exposure affects organ systems, especially the brain, endocrine system, and liver. Some companies are listening. Walmart, Target, CVS, and other retailers are phasing out BPA-based packaging. However, many haven't adopted transparent policies or offered genuinely really safe alternatives. There's also encouraging research into green chemistry solutions, including new plasticizers and polymers that don't mimic human hormones. So while the chemical industry resists change, public awareness and scientific scrutiny are increasing. So as you've been watching, you may want some context. So why this matters to college students? You may be thinking, why should I care? Well, BPA matters a lot to college students. We rely heavily on convenience plastics, from discardable coffee cups, microwave leftovers, your Uber Eats order, soda cans. The list is endless. We eat canned food to save money and time. Dorms and cafeterias often use non-BPA free materials, and few students ask questions about what their food is packaged in. Students who work in retail or food service often handle dozens and dozens of BPA coded receipts every shift, increasing their skin exposure. And so here's the kicker. At college age, we're at a stage where our hormonal systems are still stabilizing. BPA exposure during this time could impact every system, from fertility to mental clarity to long-term health risks like obesity or different types of metabolic disorders. College is a time where we form lifetime habits. If we're able to stop using BPA habitually, as we have been, now its effects will carry with us throughout our lifetime. Also, just being informed helps you make smarter choices and advocate for safer policies. So now let's talk about ethics. Many BPA safety studies cited by regulators are funded by the chemical industry. Lobbies, big chemical lobbies, pay for ethics to be disregarded. Independent studies tend to find greater risks at lower doses, and they are often excluded from risk assessments. This can create a distorted public health image. This also has big environmental justice implications. Lower income communities often have higher BPA exposure because of increased reliance on canned foods and cheap plastics. Plus, they may also live next to plastic manufacturing facilities. So at first glance, it's not just a personal health issue, it's also a social equity issue. Ethical science should involve peer-reviewed independent studies and honest disclosure of funding sources. Regulatory agencies have a responsibility to protect public health over industry profits, and the public has a right to transparent, unbiased data. The credibility of science and public trust depends on this integrity. So now for some good news. You can reduce your BPA exposure. Start by reducing your use of single-use plastics over to stainless steel containers or ceramic containers. Make sure you don't microwave plastic, even if it says it's microwave safe. Heat breaks down the structure and increases the rate of leaching. Choose fresh foods over frozen foods because of the plastic that's used to house the frozen foods often. This is a healthier overall choice and reduces BPA intake. When shopping or working, decline printed receipts or just opt for digital versions. Make sure to check the recycling codes on plastic items. Numbers 1, 2, and 5 are generally safer than numbers 3 and 7 unless they're labeled BPA free. And also make sure you speak up. Make sure to support student campaigns that advocate for safer products, especially in campus cafeterias, vending machines, and student stores. An individual has way more power than you think. Your voice can help shape a safer environment for everyone. So to wrap things up, BPA is a widely used industrial chemical that mimics hormones and may interfere with vital biological systems. There's a growing scientific evidence linking it to serious health risks, especially for developing bodies and younger adults. Regulations are improving, but many loopholes remain, and we have to watch out for misleading terms like BPA-free. The ethical dimension is just as important. Transparent, independent science and equitable access to safe products are essential. And the good news, there are practical ways to protect yourself and contribute to larger change. Being informed means being empowered. Let's use that knowledge to make ourselves healthier and smarter. And here are my citations. All right. Thank you for watching.